What's up, guys and gals, and welcome to Veve Vibes, where I love talking all things Veve NFTs, speculation, and of course the market. So before we jump into the big topic that is the title of this video, I did want to cover a few things that is involving like the market as well as the kind of like Mermicornos drops. I'll be honest, I've been very lucky. I did actually end up getting the secret rare on my other phone. Just full disclosure, I do have two phones. Honestly, my last phone broke probably about a month ago. I went in for an upgrade, so I got a new phone, and they said, hey, by the way, you can get a second phone. As long as you get an additional line, you can get the second phone for free. I was like, sure, why not? It was just a little bit extra. And I think it's become more kind of like widely accepted within the community that having a second phone is fine. I mean, these drops are getting more and more difficult as we're going along, and just basically doubling your chances of winning is, I think, perfectly fine. And it's definitely easier to manage. You know that once you start getting into the realm of 5, 10, 15, 25 phones, that's where it starts getting a bit iffy. You know, how are you able to juggle that many phones without using external software or finding ways to kind of break the rules that are against like ecomi's rules and regulations on Veve? So again, that's just full disclosure, that's what's going on. But as you guys can see here, I actually did win Shark Bite. It was a secret rare. So as of the making of this video, it's been about 7 hours since I actually haven't had it delivered to my account, and I haven't yet been able to post it on the market, so which is a whole other issue. I think people are trying to figure out what's going on with the market. I do think the prices of a lot of these Mermicornos are just going to significantly drop once this finally opens up. As you can see here, I do have it in AR here in front of the screen. There is a bit of a kind of an Easter egg there in the background if you guys can pick that up, but it's a great looking Mermicorno. I'll be honest, I was kind of on the fence whether I wanted to keep it or sell it, but odds are I probably do want to sell it. Like in the grand scheme of things, I'm not huge in like the whole Mermicorno community or whatever it is. I do think some of the NFTs look pretty awesome. I was also fortunate enough on my main phone, or whatever you want to call it, on my main account, I actually did get one. I did get Cerulean, which I think is probably one of the better looking Mermicornos. It's clear. It does have some stuff going on. It also does have a cool looking like turtle on the side of its head, which I think looks pretty cool. As we scroll down here, and right now the floor is, and it's kind of funny watching the market and just kind of people reacting with an extremely limited amount of people that are able to list their things in the market. Like it's probably less than 1% of people that actually have their stuff delivered and they're actually able to list it on the market. It's just so funny watching these people kind of like undercut each other, then they like delist it and relist it for a higher price. So it's just kind of like a weird game that's going on between these people that are listing and delisting their items and trying to get them to sell and things like that. So I have no idea like which ones are actually selling and which ones are actually doing well. So there is Shark Bite. There's only 7 on the market right now. For a while, it was kind of like pulling back and forth. So this, it's funny because like this Lamar guy like put it for like 2.9, and like you just see all these numbers just like juggling around throughout the day because everyone's just waiting for the market to kind of open or just allow the capability for people to actually list their NFTs, which I thought was kind of funny. It's a very microcosm of kind of like how the market reacts to each other. Did they undercut each other? Did they react to the fact that it's a low mint, and do you relist it because you think it's worth more, whatever it is? So I thought that stuff was kind of funny. So I did get lucky. Both my phones did get a drop. I'll probably end up selling both of them, to be honest, when they do drop for the most part. So that is not what I wanted to close. So I wanted to close this. And today I did want to talk about an NFT that me and a very small group, I'm talking like 2 or 3 other people, invested in an NFT. And honestly, what kind of motivated me to do this was a few different things. First off was Randy Chavez. To be honest, I've only been in the community or like on Veve for probably a little over 2 months now, maybe pushing like 3.5 months or something like that. I've been watching him since day one, since I started on Veve, learning as much as I could. That guy is absolutely a DC and like Marvel NFT like guru. He knows all the price points and what stuff is underpriced and all that stuff. He has a huge background in Pokemon. He's definitely the type of person that goes all in and stuff and all that. So watching him, I was looking at Throg. To be honest, I was just looking at Throg. I'll just go ahead and pull it up here. I was looking at Throg, and I noticed that this thing has been consolidating for quite some time now, and it's actually been kind of under the radar. Like all the other Marvel NFTs have been pumping, doing really well. Obviously, Alligator Loki is significantly underpriced, even at the price point that it is currently, in my opinion. And there's also been a lot of speculation with just a lot of things that Disney could be doing. I mean, just the fact that the new Loki show, and I'll be honest, like Disney does not take cameos like lightly. Like I feel like whenever they introduce a character, they always do a very good job of kind of introducing a spinoff at some point later on. Like Disney does not shy away from when it comes to spinoffs. Like we're talking like WandaVision. I think a lot of the Star Wars shows that aren't, or movies that aren't part of like the mainline series. So like Rogue One, Mandalorian, most recent spinoff like Book of Boba Fett. Loki is kind of a spinoff off of kind of like the Marvel movies, stuff like that. They already have like the What If series going on. I'm not sure if they're gonna have a separate series that involves like zombie Marvel or anything like that, but I do know they have the What If series that's going on that's pretty popular. There's also been talks of like a Young Avengers as well as Pet Avengers, which is what Throg is involved in right now. So I'll be honest, like as much as I did have some extra gems kind of just laying around, I think everyone was just kind of like, I have a bunch of these gems, what am I going to do with it? Which is why a lot of the other blue chip NFTs started pumping recently, and it was just Mina and a few other people were just saying, hey, like, honestly, I think Throg is really, really underpriced. I love the fact, honestly, it's a beautiful NFT. Like, if you actually look at it, we'll look at it in the app here in a little bit. But I think the whole Pet Avengers thing and kind of like the more animal side of like Marvel, whether it's like Alligator, Loki, Throg, things like that, I do think they're significantly underpriced. And it's just weird seeing all these other Marvel NFTs pump. The other ones don't, and I think like honestly all we are is just one big announcement from Throg really taking off, especially when it's something like Pet Avengers for the most part, especially since he had a cameo and I believe episode 5 of Loki where they actually showed Throg inside of a little jar, has a little T365 on there because that was like the first appearance of Throg, and I think he was even voiced by the original actor of Thor, which is a big deal. Like if Disney is going to put that much effort into showing Throg and getting the original voice actor and kind of doing a callback, like, in my opinion, I think that is a spinoff. And especially since Disney's trying to find something I think a bit more child-friendly. And I think the Pet Avengers fixes that perfectly because they are pretty much the original Avengers, but kind of like in a more animalistic, cute form and things like that. So, as of right now, like, it's been consolidating for quite some time. This is, and honestly, it was also pumping too already. Before I even bought into it, before me and a couple other people kind of bought into it, it was already kind of pumping. We're like, hey, if we're going to do it, like, now's the time, because we're talking about it like early January, late December. Like once the 12 days of Veve, that's when we started talking about it, when that ended. And then we bought up and it actually stopped. I think it actually peaked at 440. But the ecomi.wiki site didn't really pick it up when it was at 440. As you can see, people were very quick to pick it back up. So as you can see, that the listings were at 96. They went all the way down to 69. That's kind of where me and a bunch of other people kind of bought it up. Again, like my intention is to not pump this. Like I'm just covering this just like any other NFT that I've covered in the past. I feel like I've been pretty correct about the Dragon Girls, Ben Riley. Like I feel like a lot of the NFTs that I've kind of called out beforehand ended up pumping very, very well over the next like week or two. Maybe it takes a little bit longer than that. But I do think Throg could do really, really well. And I kind of wanted to show some indirect support to Alligator Loki through Throg, because I do think like those two NFTs are the most kind of the most connected. I think like when you do think of Alligator Loki, you do also think of Throg a little bit because they're both kind of like animals and they're both reptilians in the Marvel universe. And I do think there's already a Loki show that introduces Alligator Loki, but I do think pretty much right over the hill could be a Pet Avengers or some sort of Throg series or something like that. And again, I do think the NFTs look absolutely amazing. So it's already consolidating and it's already leveled out pretty much where it was about 2 months ago. And if we actually pull up the listing here on my phone, give me a sec here. So I'm kind of juggling a few different things. This is actually Throg. This is the Lightning Leap. Full disclosure, I do have roughly double digits, you know, maybe a bit more than that, of the ultra rare Throgs, the highest level of it. Again, like I could have invested in Alligator Lokis, but I feel like me and the others didn't feel like we could have made as big of an impact as we wanted to on like the whole Alligator Loki thing, especially since Throg is literally like a fifth of the price of what the secret rare Alligator Loki is right now. Plus, I do think Throg is just a beautiful NFT. He has that like lightning leap thing. I do love the name over here of the rare, the mighty Frognir. Like that's an awesome name. Frog of Thunder. Like the naming scheme, the overall look, and just the fact that that Disney takes spin-offs and stuff like very, very seriously, and they've already done a cameo of Throg in the most recent like Loki show. I do think like he could pump very well, and as you can see, like the floor, he's at 345, which looks low, but immediately it jumps up to 400, and then on that same page, he's pretty much going up to 500, like very, very quickly. And again, I do think he's just a beautiful looking NFT. So if we open up the, I didn't mean to actually close that. So wow. So actually, as they're making this, that floor is already gone. All right, and here we are with the ultra rare, it's called Lightning Leap, Throg. And I will say, like, I'm a big supporter of like the whole alligator Loki thing. I mean, I do love Throg, but in my personal opinion, I do think Throg looks a little bit better than alligator Loki. I mean, he's got the full Thor outfit with the flying cape, and he's jumping with the hammer. He's got the shin guards on and like the whole Thor outfit. So no hate to the alligator Loki owners and stuff like that. I think at some point I would love to actually buy a secret rare alligator Loki just to kind of show support for that movement and just kind of like the whole Pet Avengers and kind of like the whole reptilian, I guess, NFTs out there that are in like the Marvel universe. But I do think if the Veve verse or anything like that does have any kind of like game ability or kind of like a fighting game or anything like that, I do think Throg is probably one of the top prospects to make it over some of the other NFTs that currently exist. So I absolutely love the NFT. I would love to see it do well, but again, like the whole point of this is to not pump it. All I'm saying is like, hey, this thing has been consolidating for quite some time now. There's also a lot of very dedicated holders right now that have bought it like well above 500-600 gems. Some of them have even kind of made themselves known on like Discord and stuff like that, be like, yeah, I bought it above 600, I'm just gonna hold it forever. So there's already kind of like a small dedicated community that do love Throg or bought it too high and kind of like learned to love it. And I'm kind of in that community too as well. And like even on Discord, I think people have been talking about Throg, like, hey, why is it pumping right now and it should be doing well? And is it the first appearance of actually Thor? Because he's wearing a Thor outfit, but is it actually Thor? Who knows? I think that's really up for debate at the end of the day. But again, none of this is financial advice. It's all just kind of entertainment and educational purposes only. Part of my thing on my channel is like, if I do make a certain kind of move, especially one as significant as this, I would love to at least like communicate it with you guys, what I'm doing and why I kind of bought into it. I think it's a combination of this. It's an amazing looking NFT. It's been consolidating for quite some time now. And the fact that there's very high likelihood that Disney could do a spin-off series, and it's already had a cameo in the Loki show. I think it could do well, and the fact that it's already kind of attached itself to kind of like a big name NFT like alligator Loki, I do think it could pump recently well, and you can already see that in the market. As we're talking about this in the video, it's already gone up to 400 gems. It could go even higher or lower, who knows? But at the end of the day, I will admit there probably are some better purchases out there for 400 gems rather than Throg, but it's totally up to you guys at the end of the day. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I would love to hear you guys down in the comments below. If you guys actually want one of those like Mermicorno drops, let me know down in the comments below. What do you guys feel about like the market and not being able to list stuff? What do you guys feel about Throg? What do you guys feel about alligator Loki? Whatever it is, I'd love to just kind of get some more chat and some more talks going on down in the kind of like the chat down below, or like the description, but the chat box down below. I pretty much do my best to respond to every single comment that happens down there, and I'd love to get a little discussion going down there as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys take care, and I'll catch you on the flip side.